Today on Enews, protesting in Castle Mountain, how the logging industry is being affected. Another act of vandalism, what police are doing to try and stop it. And Lethbridge unveils new buses that will benefit the environment. To E-News, I'm Ryan Willigan.
And I'm Fallon Wagner. Also on E-News, Paige Cashmere takes a dive into the aquatic center at the college, and a local band is taking High School Musical to a whole new level.
But first, 4 people were arrested as RCMP moved to clear out a month-long anti-protest in southwestern Alberta. The protests have been there for 2 weeks despite bad weather to block clear-cut logging machinery in Castle region. I visited the site to see why people are so opposed to the issue. Protesters have camped out at Spray Lake Sawmill site where logging was supposed to be taking place. However, since the protesters came more than 2 weeks ago, logging hasn't occurred. Protester Annalise Norman says she is there to protest the area for the animals.
We need to preserve at least a strip of land between the BC border and the prairies where the animals can move.
Other protesters like James Horn want to preserve the area for recreation.
We've been coming down here for the last 12 years, recreating, I guess you could call it, horseback riding, cross-country skiing, just enjoying the hiking, enjoying the beauty of the landscape.
The RCMP has threatened to end the protest because of trespassing on a work site, but many people are confident they are not going anywhere. Some have asked Premier Alison Redford to put a stop to the logging until there's a better plan. She said there is a forest management agreement in place, but the protesters feel that's not enough.
It only happened in Canada, this great country, where we give people money to burn our woods. I think it's ridiculous.
Less than 1% of the trees are set to be logged for economical development. However, the people who love the area say that's still way too much. They say they plan to stay there, blocking the machinery until they get their point across. For E-News, I'm Ryan Willigan. Spray Lake Sawmill has promised to plant new trees and limit the view of the clear cutting from the road. However, protesters say it would take nearly 100 years to look like the forest does now.
2 young people have been arrested and charged in connection to several acts of vandalism. One of the more disturbing occurrences was spray painting a church. The incident happened at the Roman Catholic Church Our Lady of the Assumption. 4 areas on and around the church building were marred by pink graffiti. Police say the 2 adolescents have been charged for 5 incidents around the city, including mischief and theft. The 2 males were arrested after being reported for spray painting sidewalks and fences on the south side. Police also say that incidents of mischief were at 613 cases in 2011, which is down from 791 in 2010.
Recently secured grant to the City of Lethbridge is opening new doors for Lethbridge athletes. Last week, Lethbridge MP Jim Hillier announced that $10 million would go towards the new West Side Ice Centre. Gabrielle Marchand looked into the story to find out what exactly the grant was being put towards.
Lethbridge curlers have something to look forward to in the next few years. The City of Lethbridge has received a $10 million grant to add a new curling rink to the Twin Ice Arena project approved for West Lethbridge. The 10-sheet rink will replace the current curling facility also owned by the city. City official Ashley Matthews says the grant was the derivative of discussions between the federal government and the City of Lethbridge.
A discussion took place with the federal government on potential projects, and at the end of the day, the project that they approved was the curling rink and Twin Arena as a combined project as such.
Matthews says the nearly $40 million facilities are expected to be completed by September of 2015. The city chose a spot south of the new Chinook High School for the project.
With the curling club currently located in the heart of downtown Lethbridge, residents want to know, why the west side for the new location?
Matthews says the amount of land required for the project limited the potential locations.
We had to pick a location that is about 25 acres of land because that's how much land we need to build this leisure center and then the parking lot that would accommodate all the parking.
Curling club manager Dave Manser says there is opportunity to expand the club at a new facility.
When we do get over to the Twin Rink Arena and us there, future plans of the leisure center might help with all those other people being around and seeing curling, it might attract some younger, different clientele that we haven't been able to get to in the past.
Until the project's projected completion in 2015, the Downtown Curling Club, which recently underwent renovations, will remain home to its active patrons.
It was a full house as residents of Lethbridge and surrounding area filled the gymnasium of the Nicholas Sharon High School to discuss plans the city is making for a multi-purpose leisure center in West Lethbridge. Paige Cashmere reports.
More than 300 people turned out to hear from the city and give their feedback on a planned leisure center. Attendees were given questionnaires to fill out upon arrival asking what amenities they'd like to see if a leisure center facility was built in Lethbridge. Amenities such as swimming pools, a running track, and a fitness center were among the many choices. With the funding for Phase 1 complete, the curling rink and Twin Ice Arena, what is next, and where will the money come from? Alderman Farron Ellis says although the leisure center is a great idea, City Council will have to wait for the next capital improvement plan to make any decisions.
Best what Council will do in May is either say, yeah, this looks like a good idea, but it won't be approving anything. It'll be referred to the next capital improvement plan and see if it makes the cut among many other projects that will be in the competition for the next capital improvement 3-year plan. So,
Architect Dan Westwood says this type of facility would be welcomed in Lethbridge.
Looking for the next generation of leisure type facilities. Obviously, there's been a number of pools and rinks that have been constructed over the decades, but in terms of a complex or leisure facility like this, it's definitely a need that needs to be filled.
As residents of Lethbridge filled the gymnasium with their questions and concerns, I decided to ask them what they were thinking.
Lethbridge is probably 10 years late getting started, but it's something that's definitely needed.
This is something for all citizens to use. It's not exclusive. It's a facility seniors can use, it's a facility families can use, and I think that, again, that's something that my tax dollars would support.
For E! News, I'm Paige Cashmere.
The final report from this study and another public forum in April is expected to be presented to City Council in May 2012.
Just on time to celebrate City Transit's 100th birthday, they're going to go green. Ironically, Transit is going back to the electric power by bringing in 5 hybrid buses. Elaine Indenbosch has the story.
Lethbridge Transit has brought clean, diesel hybrid technology to the streets of Lethbridge. Built with NIMH batteries, electric power combined with a combustible engine, the city says these buses are the best in transportation technology. As Lethbridge Transit's Richard Riron says, not only are they quieter, more efficient, and more cost-effective, but they are also brighter and more accessible.
We lower the bus and deploy the ramp. The incline in 7 feet is for 1 foot, so it's a lot lower of an incline for users to get on. There will be 1 forward-facing and 1 rearward-facing wheelchair position, and they are added for the rear-facing wheelchair position. It has an added stanchion so that they can just park themselves into the position.
Bus driver Ernie Kreeft says he's intrigued that transportation has come full circle.
And it's interesting because the new buses are going back to electrical power, and that's just what we came from years ago with this beautiful trolley streetcar behind us.
3 of the 5 hybrids will be out on the streets as of February 2nd. 5 more will be joining the fleet in 2013. For E! News, I'm Elaine Indenbosch.
Each of the buses cost approximately $600,000, 2/3 of which was paid for by the Stelmach's Green Trip Initiative plan. There will be no set route for the buses since they will be scheduled to various routes across Lethbridge.
The County of Lethbridge, who currently operates the airport, may now cooperate with the city government. Lethbridge has a better marketing firm and could help attract more business to the airport as well. The city government is also responsible for 80% of the airport's usage. County Reeve Lauren Hickey says all that needs to be done is meet with the city and make a managing plan.
The biggest thing is, next step is to have a meeting with the city and to decide what governance model we would choose. And from that we can move forward as to whether or not the city wants to participate in the operation of the airport, and if so, to what extent.
The detailed plan is supposed to be completed by September. The city and county could be cooperating by the end of 2012.
If you're looking to add to your resume and gain valuable work experience, you're in luck. Alberta Health Service is seeking volunteers to perform a wide range of roles as its faculties across southern Alberta. A number of jobs are needed, including being a liaison between nurses and patients in the emergency, as well as playing the children in the pediatric center. Volunteer coordinator Corey Kierville says the amount of time you give to a minor in relation to the benefits received.
We do look for 2 to 4 hours per week for volunteer shifts, so
That's not that much.
not that much, no, not a huge requirement.
Volunteers must be at least 16 or 18 years old if interested in volunteering in the emergency room. You must also have a resume and criminal record check. If you're interested in volunteering, phone Corey at 403-388-6311. Still ahead on E-News, Lethbridge College welcomes a new face to its Board of Governors. We'll introduce you. But up next, why members of the Aboriginal community were celebrating at Lethbridge College this week.
It was a crazy time in my life. I just started my own business and I needed some time just to get away. So I went elk hunting in the foothills, all alone. As I was climbing up a hill to do some scouting, I slipped and broke my femur. I had no hope of getting out alive or surviving when I heard the rescue guys calling. I have never been so happy in my life. Thank you, Lethbridge and area Search and Rescue.
Everyone enjoys a drink. This year, you can stretch that good feeling of your beverage even further and help out a cat in need. Go ahead, have a few drinks with some friends, and when you're done, save your empties for the Paw Society of Lethbridge. Take your empties to the Rehabilitation Society of Southwestern Alberta and request that the refunded money from the recyclables be donated directly to the Lethbridge Paw Society. Money raised will go to cat food, toys, and making sure that no cat is alone this winter.
Welcome back to E-News. A mural depicting the rich heritage of the First Nations, Métis, and Inuit culture was unveiled in the Center Core at Lethbridge College this week. In July 2011, the Alberta Foundation for the Arts awarded Lethbridge College a project grant to create the mural. A local First Nation artist was chosen from 3 artists to paint the mural. Last Monday, media and community members joined those from the college to witness the unveiling. Angelica Alston reports.
Performers and speakers launched the event that led to the viewing of the mural. Lethbridge College President Dr. Tracy Edwards officially announced the unveiling. Artist Delia Crosschild says she had a purpose in mind when creating the mural.
Thought of it would be so nice to have something that would reflect that would reflect the richness of our history, the richness of our culture, the connection that we have to family and values.
Crosschild is also a teacher at the Kainai High School, a wife, a mother, and a grandmother, not to mention a college alumnus. She says the mural took up most of her spare time. In fact, she was working on the mural until the night before the unveiling. Crosschild's husband says the artist received help too.
Grandkids had they painted a lot of when she started putting on her base coat. So that's what the grandkids had a lot of fun with doing that.
College FNMI student president Tressa Yellowhorn says she was touched by the unveiling.
I felt a little emotional, after hearing Delia's speech and how much work and effort she put into it. And I felt very excited to see it.
When Crosschild first started to paint, she started with 7 older individuals, but she ended up covering them up and turning them into 8 young individuals. Crosschild says when she finished, she had to stand back and realize how the work had a life of its own, and how it shows things that are important to her as a First Nations artist. Crosschild says she too was affected when the painting was unveiled.
Amazing to be able to see it up there and to realize that it's going to be a welcoming image for people that come into the college, FNMI students, and to the viewer, and to see the beauty of our culture.
Crosschild's husband says that his wife has inspired many of her students to take courses and to major in art. For E! News, I'm Angelica Alston.
Crosschild's mural is hanging in the center core. She has also shown her paintings at exhibitions in Europe, and some can be seen at the Glenbow Museum in Calgary and the Art Museum in Banff.
A well-known local businessman has joined Lethbridge College's Board of Governors. President of Dunlop Western Star, Randy Dunlop, attended his first meeting as an official member on the board on Monday. I headed down to the boardroom to meet the college's newest member.
He promised me that he wouldn't shirk his other responsibilities when he joined the board, so we look more forward.
Randy Dunlop was chosen to be on the college's Board of Governors by the Minister of Advanced Education after a request was made by existing members. He had previously served on various committees at the college, including the Foundation Board. Dunlop says he feels his business experience will be an attribute to the Board of Governors.
Well, I wanted to support their endeavors to make the college a better place for the students of Southern Alberta and area.
Dunlop is known for his work in the trucking industry.
I think he will continue to do what he's done, and that's being a good advocate for the institution. He's been very helpful in terms of raising funds for us, and we're just looking forward to his contribution on the board.
One of Dunlop's largest contributions to the college was leading an effort to raise $1 million for the new Trades and Technology Innovation and Renewal Project. The 57-year-old says the trade programs at the college are important because students are future employees.
Had quite a few employees go through the courses, and been thankful to the college and the fact that it's in Lethbridge, so that's why I want to keep it in Lethbridge.
Dunlop hopes that being appointed to the Board of Governors will allow him to help guide the college as it responds to changing technology and changing industry demands in the future.
The Aquaculture Center has been in Lethbridge College for more than 15 years, but what did they really do? After talking with students around the college, Paige Cashmere decided to venture over to the center to find out just what goes on this week's edition of Campus Horizons.
I'm here with Penny. Penny, tell me, what happens here?
At Lethbridge College Aquaculture Center, we raise grass carp for the purpose of weed control. So we spawn our fish, we blood test our fish, we tag our fish, and then we grow them out and sell them to farmers and ranchers for weed control. So the fish will go to the bottom of the dugout and eat the weeds from the bottom and keep the water clean for livestock. So the farmer doesn't have to use pesticides. We also have an aquaponics greenhouse where the fish water goes out to the greenhouse and supplies the plants with nitrogen and grows huge plants. We also have a research building where we do different research projects. We've hatched coho salmon and going to spawn salmon for first-time freshwater salmon from the prairies. We're going to do a bacteria project in Henderson, and we're also doing feed trials. So lots happens here at ACE.
Sounds like it. The environmental students, they do their practicum here, is that correct?
Yes, they do. They do some work experience here as part of their lab for fish management. So they learn to do things like blood testing, grading fish, sorting, small ones, big ones. They'll do some tagging, they'll do weight counts, so they get a good variety of experience here.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your time today.
You're welcome.
And thank you for joining us on another Campus Horizons.
Thank you, Paige. The Aquaculture Center at Lethbridge College is the only production facility of grass carp in Canada.
The Holy Spirit School Division is reviewing its 3 schools on the west side because of an imbalance in student enrollment. To utilize its space best, the board held a public consultation to address some of the issues. Joey Sugai has the story.
And she always managed to bring back...
Providing the best learning environment is always a topic for discussion with any school board, including Holy Spirit, whose board members recently met with a parent group to discuss the variation in enrollment numbers involving its 3 West Side schools, the Children of St. Martha's, St. Patrick's Fine Arts, and Father Leonard Van Tighem School. Holy Spirit School Division Board Chair Sandra Dufresne says they wanted to see what problem-solving ideas they could collectively come up with for future planning.
It's really to address enrollment pressures that are present in some schools and not in others.
Some of the issues the board reviewed involve differences between enrollment rates amongst its elementary and junior high schools on both sides of the river. Something the Children of St. Martha's principal Kelsey Kopsa says he's focusing on, since his school is only at 60% capacity.
Our target would be to make it so that we can offer the programs that our community wants to see and that will address the 21st century needs of our students.
St. Martha's Parent Council Chair Tina Germscheid says the board looked at many different options to combat this issue, including implementing new programs.
We discussed things like transportation. We discussed bringing French immersion to the west side, as well as taking fine arts to the east side of town.
With the school year 2/3 complete, these issues aren't anything that will be addressed anytime soon. Instead, the Holy Spirit School Board is just preparing ahead to ensure its students will have the best learning possibilities in the future. For E-News, I'm Joey Sugai.
Over 100 people consisting of administrators, teachers, and Westside parents made up the audience who consulted with Holy Spirit's board. The board has not announced a date for future consultation.
The Helen Schuler Nature Center is taking an interactive approach at teaching visitors about a local species. The center recently opened a new exhibit dedicated to porcupines. All displays are hands-on with the intention visitors will have fun while learning about the forest-dwelling creatures. Helen Schuler program leader Barbara Van Viersentrip says visitors may even run into one of the prickly animals.
We've actually seen a couple of times since the porcupine exhibit started, we've seen porcupines down here. So if you want to see a porcupine when you come down, I can't guarantee it, but there is a chance that you can see them this time of year.
The Helen Schuler Nature Center changes their exhibits every 4 to 6 months. Coming up, a local band is getting ready to rock the barn at Lethbridge College. Find out who they are and what makes them special. But first, we'll slide into the future as Lethbridge gets ready to host a major sporting event.
And we're back. I'm here with Stephanie Queen, whose novel just made the New York Times bestsellers list. Now, Stephanie, what do you like to credit your success to?
Well, honestly, I would credit my success to the Boys and Girls Club.
My mom never had to worry about me. Not only was she leaving me at a safe place, I was also learning something while I was there. I was taught life skills that gave me the confidence to follow my dreams.
I wish all boys and girls would get the opportunity to join the Boys and Girls Club. It's a good place to be.
There are people in need. And you can help out by donating your blankets, time, and material to Blankets for Canada Society. They're a non-profit organization that will give blankets to people in need all across Canada and in your community. So donate your blankets to Blankets for Canada Society, located at 210A 12A Street North, and help out those in need today.
Welcome back to E-News. The best women curlers from around the world will gather at the NMAC Center March 17th. Lethbridge will be host to the World Women's Curling Championships. Justin Lazorko has the details on what the itinerary for the event will look like.
Come March, the sights and sounds of curling are going to be all around Lethbridge. The Ford World Women's Curling Championships are set to take place from March 17th to 25th. This will be the second major curling event in the last 5 years that Lethbridge has played host to. The first was the Scotties Tournament of Hearts in 2007. The tournament is going to be held at the NMAC Center, and as Community Relations Manager for the City of Lethbridge, Jody Malley says, having an event like this benefits not only local curling, but the whole community.
Just from the fact that we're going to get some international recognition because it's world curling, and so it's going to be actually televised in other countries as well as not just here.
Hard! Although the competition will be the talk of the town come March, a lot of the hype is about after every game with the after party.
The Patch After Party will be held at the Service Center and will have live band performances, gift shops, and a chance for people to meet their favorite curlers and get autographs from them. And the main event...
There's going to be cool curling, which is kind of an interesting thing. It's like a shuffleboard game, and you can actually curl and have competitions.
For E! News, I'm Justin Lazorko.
Team Canada is scheduled to take on the U.S. to open the tournament. For more information or to buy tickets, call 403-329-SEAT or visit lethbridge.ca/tickets.
The Kodiak men's basketball team is coming off a loss to Red Deer College this past weekend. Ryan sat down with one of the players to discuss how their season's going on this week's edition of the Kodiak Report.
I'm Rod Newdewilligan here with the Kodiak Report. I'm here with Brady, who was the player of the game this last weekend. You guys faced Red Deer. It was a tough game. You guys kind of hung in there, but in the end you fell short. What do you think the Kodiaks did wrong this time? Any things you need to work on?
We're stagnant on our offense sometimes. We need to keep the ball moving, and that'll create easy layups for us. And just turnovers, we gotta not have so many turnovers. So.
And what is a turnover exactly?
When the other team gets the ball over your mistake.
And so what do you think the strengths are that the Kodiaks are doing this season?
We're young and we're fast, and we can get up and down the floor really quick, and we can pass pretty well. So.
And how has Coach Ryan helped with your success this season?
He's really experienced, so he knows a lot about the game, and he just helps us out with everything that we need to know, and coaches us good.
So the way you're sitting right now, do you think you'll have a good chance in getting to the playoffs?
Yeah, we're in a good seat. We just need to focus on each game one at a time and play our hardest.
Well, thank you, Brady, for being here. That's it for the Kodiak Report. I'm Ryan Newdewilligan. Tune in next time.
The Kodiak's next home game action is against Concordia University on February 11th.
Some local teens will be shaking things up at this year's Band Wars. 5 high schoolers main up Vista Park. An alternative rock band, the young talent has had success since forming just a year ago. Shows at Galt Gardens, the Owl, and even the Calgary Stampede have made up possible, partly due because of their manager, a mother of one of the band members. This year's Band Wars will give the boys a chance to show an older audience what they've got. Chris Bestplug looked into the band's feelings going into the competition and what it's like having a mother for a manager.
Young and talented. Just 2 words to describe the 5 kids that make up Vista Park. However, being young has kept their talent from reaching adult ears. Until now. Band Wars has given the young guys a chance to showcase their alternative sound to a larger and older audience. Drummer Cole Hogue says that the band is ready for an older audience.
We're really excited because we're 17 years old, so everything we do is like either a parade or something that is all ages, and we kind of feel like adults now, you know, because we're...
A key to the band's success has been their manager, Cole's mother, Susan Hogue, who has sold furniture in her basement to allow the boys somewhere to hone their skills, along with hosting practices, booking gigs for the guys, and moving their equipment. Susan Hogue is also their #1 fan.
Every day that they're here practicing, I listen, and I can't wait to come running downstairs to tape them or listen to them or hear what they've done that's new.
Having his own mom as his manager has had its ups and its downs, says Cole.
Sometimes it's embarrassing because like she'll be videotaping us and you'll just hear in the shot and it totally wrecks the whole thing, but you know, we love her for doing it, and she books all our gigs and gets everything ready for us, so you can't complain about that.
Vista Park's goals in this year's Band Wars are to showcase their talents, promote their alternative sound, and most importantly, get the audience involved.
Come close and let's have a good time. You know, that's what we make our music for anyways, so.
Chris Bestplug, Enews.
Money made from doing shows has made Vista Park's first album a go. A CD is expected to be released this March. Well, I think it's really cool. They're so young and they have lots of success like that. I always wanted to be in a band, but I never have. How about you?
I actually did. In middle school, I tried out the band thing. My mom bought me a guitar for Christmas. I didn't even know one song, but we were called Be Widow. That's not actually a word, but, you know.
Okay.
We tried, and we had one song, so that was nice.
Well, I'd like to be in a band too, maybe someday. Well, that's all the time we have for E! News. I'm Ryan Newdewilligan.
And I'm Fallon Wagner. Tune in next time.